Here we go. Video number 2. This is day number 4. We are working on the Widebody RSX project. Still waiting on a couple parts. Either way, we're definitely gonna make some good progress.
And now, you're watching the global ambassador for the female Halloween costume that is just electrical tape channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
Hey, so thank you so much for joining me on another video. So let me fill you in a little bit on what's been going on, what the pace is gonna be for the next couple of videos and for the next couple of weeks on my channel. I realized in the last video I just kind of went right into it with the RSX project, the Widebody RSX. We're gonna take a little break from working on the Battle EG hatch. The Ranchero right here is for sale. If you guys are interested in this car, go ahead and let me know because I'm trying to unload that thing. But it's not about the Battle Hatch, it's not about the Ranchero, it is about the Acura RSX that we are working on, the Widebody project. So with these videos, I'm not gonna be coming out with videos as often because there's certain things, for example, I've spent 2 days and all I've worked on was the fenders and the doors on both sides, and I can't make an entire video as often as I would like and not show you guys much progress at all. So I'm gonna try to find that balance between a regular upload schedule and showing you a good amount of progress per video. So I gotta make sure that's entertaining. What I want to get into right now and what I got into a little bit yesterday is what I'll show you. I just started doing a little bit of body work on the door, and then right after that we're gonna go into me back to today. I'm gonna go ahead and get this door broken down because I want to get the door panel out of here, because I want to get the mirror off, and I want to get this trim off so that way we can start getting the door prepped the rest of the way, and then we'll see where else this video takes us. Alrighty, so we got the trim off right here, the trim off right here. I don't know if you call that trim, but that plastic piece anyways. And then also the side view mirror. And then a lot of the things that I show you guys, I mean, you can't really see a lot of the hours or a lot of the stuff behind the scene that takes place. For example, this and here, all this area, and then back here, all that has to be cleaned because it just stays there. It never gets cleaned. So ever since the car came out of the factory, that's just been collecting dirt. I went ahead and I did that on both sides. I also took out the rubber, the trim that goes along here, because, so in there, and then this will come off, this rubber stripping will come off because I'm gonna have to paint the inside of the doors. The doors will come off eventually. In a minute, I actually want to kind of go over a game plan and my entire plan for this entire project, not necessarily for this video. I just want to kind of get on the same page. That way we are a little bit more organized and I have a step-by-step thing that I need to complete, because with this car being a full color change and me having to do the body work and wanting to do the body work as good as possible, I'm going to prime it, block it, prime it again, but I don't want to do any priming after the jams have been done because I don't want any primer getting on the jams. So I need to consider all those facts before I actually go ahead and make up my list. So that's what I'm going to do in a minute, but before I do that, I want to work the hood a little bit. I have some of the dents kind of marked already. There's a dent there, and I'm going to look a little closely. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and let that body filler dry, and then we're gonna get into this list. So what I gotta do first is I gotta go ahead and finish all of the body work. Anything that I don't believe to be as straight as it could possibly be, I wanna go ahead and get that now. Once I believe all the body work is done, I'm going to go ahead and prime the entire car as it sits. I'm not going to take off the doors. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to prime the jams. I'm not going to prime the underside of the hood or trunk or anything like that. I'm just going to do the first round of primer. Then after that, I want to block the entire car, because that's really going to show me if the car is wavy anywhere, and I can use a guide code if I want to, or you can just block it and look at the different colors of the primer. My primer tends to be a little bit lighter as you sand it, and then the darker area of the primer works as a guide coat, and I just go ahead and do that. Then after that, all of that primer that I just laid on there is pretty much going to be gone, because the entire car is going to be blocked out. Only low spots will still have primer, and then if I need to do any more body work, I can go ahead and do that. Once I believe the car is good, that's when I'm going to blow the entire thing apart. I'm going to take off the doors, I'm going to take off the hood, I'm going to take off the trunk and hang those all up, and then I'm going to prime everything, the underside of the hood, underside of the trunk, inside of the doors, as well as the door jams. And also at this part, one thing that I still need to consider, the parts that I mentioned we are waiting on, is those rear over fenders. So before I do that final prime, those over fenders need to be mounted at some point. I don't know where that's gonna fall, just depending on when those parts get here, but either way I can fit that in somewhere. So before I do the base coat, clear coat on the inside of the jams, the underside of everything, those little rear fender flares need to be mounted and done. And then after that, the entire car is gonna come back together. I'm gonna mask off the jams, and then I'm gonna paint the entire car. So that list, that whole thing that I just explained, that's really on my phone. If it didn't make perfect sense to you in the video, well, you'll see it throughout the videos, and that list is really just a reference for me. So now it's actually the next day. I don't know if you can hear it, it's raining. Saturday is when I'm filming this right now. Hopefully it clears up a little bit. So I just ran to the paint store this morning. Also, the BodeVision retro decals are back in stock. I just got the 3-packs up there, big decal, small decal, and then one of these other ones will come as well. But not about that. I don't want to do a whole infomercial type thing. I'm gonna go ahead and get the paint unloaded, get everything I got unloaded. We also got the color for the RSX, so that's really excited. And then I'm gonna get back to the hood, give that some attention, and that's it. So at this point, the hood is looking as good as I would think that it would or should look to do the first thing of primer. After I do that first coat of primer, again, we're gonna go back and block it. If I need to do any more body work, we will address that at that time. But so far, I think it is looking just like it should. So with this car being a full color change, I wanna take as many things apart as possible, because that makes the job that much better. And if you can see right here, there's silver paint and the lock right there, and also the door handles we're gonna want to get up inside there. We're gonna want that to all look good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to pull apart the door, take out the door handle. All this stuff needs to come out, because these need to be out of here for when I paint this, the whole door area. And I'll just kind of explain to you step by step what I gotta do to get the door handle and all that stuff out of there, and just really what I'm doing. So the first thing that I want to attack is the latch mechanism. Those are just those 3 Phillips head screws, and these are really hard to get out because, I don't know, the Incredible Hulk tightens them down at the factory. So I just use my little impact, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 and then take them off. Then the next thing I want to do to actually get that mechanism out of there is just this little 10 right here. Take that off. And this 10, that's for the window track. And then if you just, on here, it's actually attached. It's some metal sliding up. Just pull it down, pull it over, and then that'll come right out. So now this little rubber that's in here, that's out of the way. And this little access hole, that needs to open up. So that's good. But now if you can see, that access hole is dark in there. And that's why we got to take the latch mechanism off, because the reason why it's dark is there's a little guide that the door little popper thing goes along. So that needs to come out now too. And to get that out, there's the rods that go to the actual door handle. There's 2 of them, so you're just going to move the plastic clips over and then pull the rods out. Now to get that little guide free, there's just a little clip right here. That's going to come off. You're gonna have to take these 2 electrical plugs off because those need to come out as well. So now here's the latch mechanism, and the last thing that you gotta take off is this one right here, and this attaches to the handle puller, and it goes right there. So you can either take it off all the way or just take it apart right here. And then these last 2 plugs right here, those gotta come out. And then put this aside for later because we're gonna obviously need that when it comes to putting the door back together. So what I do is everything for the driver's side, I put on the floor mats of the driver's side, everything for the passenger side. You understand what I'm saying. So now that that's out of here, now we can actually turn our attention to the door handle. And also, if you can see this, that's looking real nice. That's what we want. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this, is because with the color change, we want everything off of it, and then we're gonna start to put everything back on. So all this trim, all these pieces, all that are gonna be gone when it comes time for paint. So now with the door handle, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but there's a 10 right there, and then there's also another 10 right there. So this one needs to come out, that one needs to come out, and then that Phillips head screw needs to come out to take the electrical all the way out, and then there's a C-clip back there that you have to pull down. Once I get the door handle out, I'll show you that C-clip, so that way that can make a little more sense, because you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing inside of the door. So that C-clip that I was talking about, I don't know if you can see it at all, but it is right underneath where the screwdriver is. So what I had to do was fish a little pick in there, and what I used just had this little tiny 90-degree bend on it. I had to come up, turn over, and pull it down, and now it's popped out about 70% of the way. So now I wanted to show you, and then just take a screwdriver just like that. And now the lock mechanism should be able to come out. Just like that. I just popped it from the front. It was a little stuck, so the last 2 things, 10 right there, and then that last 10, we got to get through that access hole that I popped out a little bit ago, and that's one of the reasons why we had to take off the window track, and also the window track had to come out before the actual latch mechanism could come off. So this is going to be able to be painted without getting any paint on the lock. And as for the lock, I'm just going to go ahead and sand it down and get all the old paint off of there, because when we want this car to go back together, we want it to look like it was this color from the factory. So I just got word from the owner, those over fenders, we thought they were going to be here mid next week, like October 29th or the 30th or something like that, but actually they are here today. So that's really cool, because now I'm not going to have to just try to figure out what I can do next, because in reality what I want to do is put on those over fenders. Oh, right, so we are officially wide body. This kit, with the experience that we just had with the Duraflex fiberglass, and this is JP fiberglass, I believe, JP Racing, something along those lines. I'll put it on the screen right now. But anyways, I was thinking that this might fit not so good, but in reality, I think that it looks pretty good. The only thing, this line up top is a little bit wavy, but that's all right, because it's going to be completely blended into the body, and I have the Clecos holding it on right now just so that way we can put it back in the same spot every time. The owner was here, you just saw him in the last clip, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I was saying, do you like where it is? Do we want to move it? Are you happy with it? I'm happy with it. He's happy with it. Let's go ahead and drill the holes, put the Clecos in, so that way we can put it back in the same spot every single time. And it was actually pretty nice to have a second set of hands here as well, so that's really cool. So here's how it looks. Looks pretty good. And again, it's going to be all blended on there, seamless into the body. There's a couple areas that I have to work. I noticed that the gas door, this is going to have to be trimmed out a little bit, because in the end I want to make sure that the gas door can open properly without hitting any kind of paint, because that wouldn't be too good if that happened. So I guess with this video, I realize not a lot got done, but you know, as far as progress, not a lot got done for you to see, but I'm done with the door, I'm done with the hood, I'm basically done sanding down the body. This was the slowest phase, I feel like, because I was just doing one day I spent working on the fenders and then one door, and then the following day I did the door and the hood, and it's kind of hard for me to capture that on video and show you what's going on when I'm just sanding, bodywork, sanding, bodywork, sanding, bodywork. You get the idea, and I don't want to have a video just doing that. So in the next video, we're gonna go ahead and get those things, the wide body, the over fenders, the fender flares, whatever you want to call them, we're gonna get them on there, and everything is going to be up from here. So that's gonna be it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff, you know what it is, YouTube. I'll see you on the next one.